It's the first Saturday of the last month of 2015. Good evening. Welcome to the studios of GBC24 and GTV. It's time for the news. I'm Akushika Akwe.
And I'm Conrad Kakraba. Coming up in this package, on the first Saturday of the month, is the clean-up spirit already fading out? GBC24 finds out.
We also look at boosting tourism in the Volta region through Kachi Carnival and Beach Party.
And delegates at COP21 Climate Conference in Paris inch close to a deal.
In our first story, it's been 14 months since the National Sanitation Day was introduced in the country as a national duty call to all citizens to keep their surroundings clean. This initiative by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development is a voluntary exercise on the first Saturday of every month to reduce unsanitary conditions. GBC24 drove through parts of the capital early this morning to capture the scenes.
For the traders at Nima, it was business as usual when GBC24 got there. There was no clean-up going on, though the market area was engulfed by heaps of rubbish. At Kaneshi, the situation was no different. Haji Aisha said she had no idea that there was any sanitation exercise slated for Saturday. She had, however, cleaned precincts of her stand.
We must be reminded of the sanitation day so that we can participate.
Another trader, Kwame Apia, said he and his colleagues were willing to clean, but complained that the AMA doesn't come to collect the refuse when they do so, and they end up using their own resources to pay for its disposal.
The
problem is that when I'm done cleaning, I have to use my own resources to dispose of the rubbish.
Our next stop was Mamprobi, where residents Martha Addison had similar concerns.
The AMA should support us clear the rubbish.
Another resident said they always clean on the sanitation days, but their main problem is that their gutters are too small and difficult to clean. She said though they have complained to the authorities, nothing has been done, and this results in flooding whenever it rains. In Accra Central, rubbish was left on the streets and traders displayed their wares in and around the rubbish heaps. Our final stop was La, where the situation was different from the previous neighborhoods visited. The area looked clean. A fire officer in the area said they mount pressure on the residents to clean the surroundings and keep the area clean at all times.
Now, some more stories on Farmers' Day from around our country. Bogosu, the capital of the Pristiahuni Valley district of the Western region, was the venue to celebrate outstanding farmers and fishermen. There was on display an array of agricultural produce depicting the rich agricultural resources the region is endowed with.
In all, 26 farmers and fishermen were on it. The categories were coconut, vegetables, rice, rubber, oil palm, plantain, cassava, cocoa and animal husbandry. The regional best farmers for their efforts received a mist blower, 2 Wellington boots, 2 cutlasses, a knapsack sprayer, water pump, wax springs and certificate. The overall regional best fisherman was Mr. John Bassal from Dix Cove in the Ahanta West district. He took home 2 bundles of fishing nets, 2 boxes of twine, 1 SIM card, a half piece of wax print and a certificate of merit. The overall regional best farmer award went to the paramount chief of the Nsan traditional area, Awulai Ajefi Kwame. He received a tricycle, a water pump with a hose, a mist blower and a pair of Wellington boots. The others received 2 cutlasses, a knapsack sprayer, a SIM card, a hat, a half piece of wax print and a certificate of merit. The Western Regional Director of Food and Agriculture, Alhaji Salifu Abdul Razak Ziblim, said though the region is blessed with rich agricultural resources, it woefully lacks the requisite investment to improve on agricultural development in the region. He encouraged farmers to organize themselves into effective farmer-based organizations to gain access to government's various investment packages. The Western Regional Minister, Mr. Paul Evanzaidu, praised farmers and fishermen for their hard work. He was, however, not happy with the wanton destruction of the region's regional resources through galamsey activities. The 2014 Regional Best Farmer handed over the Sword of Honor to the 2015 winner, Awulai Ajefi Kwame.
In the Upper Dentra West District in the Central Region, the event was celebrated at Ayamfuri. A number of farmers were honored in various categories. The Ayamfuri Hine, Nana Kojo Apia, asked for more support for agriculture in the district. The district director of agriculture in Upper Dentra West, William Kwakuchei, said the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has plans to support small-scale farmers in the area. The district's chief executive for Upper Dentra West, Ambrose Amuisia, said the government has distributed 9,600 quantities of fertilizer to farmers across the district to improve cocoa production. A 76-year-old farmer, Kwame Intori, was crowned the overall best district farmer. He took home a motorbike.
At Tepa, in the Ahafo North District of Ashanti, a total of 26 competitive farmers received awards, and some special awards given to exhibitors in agribusiness and corporate Ashanti. These awards included mattresses, Wellington boots, mist blowers, knapsack sprayers, agrochemicals, cutlasses and certificates. Mr. Emmanuel Owusu from Ahafo South was the best regional plantain farmer. Alhaji Saka Haruna from Ejurase Chidumase, best maize farmer. Bismarck Adai from Echumangwabieja, best pig farmer. Rebecca Kodia from Sechere Kumeu, best yam farmer. Joyce Asante from Edresu Drabin, best poultry farmer. Kumasi Academy, best institution in agriculture, and Gideon Seidu, best agro-input dealer. Other award winners were Collins Osei from Amansia West, best coconut farmer. Isaac Janbroni from Offenso, best tomato farmer, and Srebo Farms from Edresu Drabin, best oil palm farmer. The Ghana Broadcasting Corporation's Ashanti Regional Radio Station, Garden City Radio, was recognized as the best media organization in disseminating information on agriculture in the Ashanti region. Yawasante was adjudged best regional cocoa farmer. Adom Broso Cold Store in Kumasi, best cold store facility. Best farmer. Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Barbara Samoa was the first runner-up overall best farmer, with Edward Aseda from Asante Achimagogo emerging the regional overall best farmer. The Regional Director of Agriculture, Kweku Minka Fojo, advised farmers to ensure food safety, environmental protection and prevent bushfires. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Peter Anefi Mensah, congratulated the farmers for their hard work in feeding the nation. The Tepahene Nane Duse Atwene called on the government to invest more in agriculture.
47-year-old Robert Anyan from Asin Adiembra of the Asin South District of the Central Region was adjudged this year's Regional Best Farmer. He received a certificate, a tricycle, a 32 LCD flat-screen TV, water pump, sewing machine, wheelbarrow, radio set, spraying machine, and 500 Ghana cedis from Kasabreko, among others. 34 other hard-working farmers and fishermen were also rewarded for their contribution to food sustenance at this year's Regional Farmers' Day celebration at Breman, Asikuma. They received items such as fridges, mattresses, fishing and other farming equipment and inputs. The Regional Director of Agric, Mr. Bejra, and Central Regional Minister, Akwenans Tewia Kwansa, congratulated the farmers and gave the state of agriculture in the region. They said government has made improvement in the sector. Meanwhile, the Office of the Vice President in a statement has explained the inability of the Vice President to join farmers and fisherfolk in the Upper East region for the National Best Farmers Awards ceremony. The official document signed by Presidential Staffer James Ejenim Boatin said it was as a result of poor visibility which made it impossible for the Ghana Air Force to airlift the Vice President and his team to Tamale and subsequently continue to Bolgatanga for the ceremony as planned. It said the Vice President therefore had to join the Greater Accra celebration for the event. The Vice President was to represent the President, John Mahama, who is out of the country on an official assignment in South Africa at the China-Africa Cooperation Forum.
In other news, the chief fisherman for British Commander Nana Kojombia has denied the allegation that fishermen from Commander are the worst offenders of illegal fishing activities in the country. In his defense, he says he made his people swear an oath not to engage in any form of illegal fishing. Speaking in the Central Region, he says going by laid-down regulations has resulted in a good harvest, which is rather raising eyebrows.
Fish, which is high in protein, makes up over 20% of food expenditure in all households and over 25% of food expenditure in poor households. However, illegal and unregulated fishing today is rapidly depleting Ghana's fish stock. At Commander in the Central Region, a number of people were on the streets with placards highlighting the need to stop the illegal fishing. For this reason, USAID continues to support the effort to stop the use of unauthorized methods of fishing. The Central Regional Director of Fisheries, Mr. Yao Atubura, called on fishermen and all partners to help save the fishing industry in the country. There was a community drama on illegal and unregulated fishing and unhygienic handling of fish. The chief fisherman for Commander, Nana Kojombia, admitted that illegal fishing has depleted fish stock in the country, but denied the allegations that fishermen in Commander are the worst offenders. In police custody in Kumasi for their alleged involvement in robbing unsuspecting passengers in taxis of their money and personal effects. 3 were among other suspects who were identified by their victims at an identification parade at the Ashanti Regional Police Command. Akwesi Frimpong was arrested in 2012 by the Ashanti Regional CID for a similar crime in Kumasi and was jailed 7 months in hard labor. During police investigations, it came up that the 3 suspects recently had used a taxi cab to pick unsuspecting passengers in the metropolis and in the course of the journey, robbed them and forced them out of the vehicle. All 3 suspects, 33-year-old Akwesi Frimpong, alias Al-Hassan, an ex-convict, 25-year-old taxi driver Isaac Boatin, alias OK, and a 25-year-old petty trader Frank Osei, alias Obisi, admitted to committing the crime and confessed that they had handpicked and robbed for 7 months now and that they target especially women. A victim, Jennifer Jomina, spoke to GBC24.
We were 2 ladies in the taxi.
What are some of the things they took from you?
They took my 2 phones, Nokia Aisha and the Infinix 507, and then my 140 Ghana cedis. That was the only money I had with me at that time.
The Ashanti Regional Police Commander, DCOP Nathan Kofi Boachi, briefed journalists about the modus operandi of the 3 suspects.
This is a situation where people, supposedly taxi drivers, pick passengers and rob them along the way and at obscure corners. Al-Hassan, who is an ex-convict who was jailed on the same offense, came out from prison and bought a taxi cab purposely for this operation.
DCOP Boachi used the occasion to advise the public to expose suspicious characters.
We are also craving the indulgence of communities, especially those living at Bofuedu, Kokobin, in Krasa area, to help the police to also arrest these car snatchers.
In the Central Region, where the Ghana Tourism Federation, an umbrella body of tourist organizations and service providers across the country, is bracing up to expand the frontiers of the sector. At its annual meeting in Winneba, the consensus was to work harder to draw the needed attention to the sector.
Ghana is endowed with abundant tourism potentials which hold attraction for a number of local and international tourists. Tourism is the country's 4th highest foreign exchange earner. Despite the enormous contribution to the country's economy, the sector contends with challenges that hinder its development. Many tourist sites are still underdeveloped, while many of the sites lack adequate promotion to attract tourists. At the annual Congress of the Ghana Tourism Federation in the Central Region, industry players called for more support for the sector. The president of the federation, David Nanenim, said the federation is partnering with other stakeholders to promote tourism in the country. He said the energy crisis is taking a toll on the sector. He also bemoaned the numerous taxes they have to pay in the line of duty. The tourism service providers also called for the establishment of a tourism and hospitality training school to sharpen the skills of workers in the sector. A representative of the Tourism Ministry, Mr. Akunu Dake, said the Federation has been allocated a vehicle to improve on its work. Also, plans are advanced to set up a tourism training school in the country. The ministry has also issued a directive that all tourism establishments should pay their 1% tourism development levy this month. A special task force will be on rounds to check defaulters and sanction them accordingly.
Ahead of his 70th anniversary, the Old Students Association of the West African Senior High School is raising funds for a number of projects. The old students say the school is in dire need of a new boys' dormitory and a home economics block and are calling on all to support in this regard. Established in 1946, the West Africa Senior High School was known as West Africa School of Commerce. In 1987, it was relocated to its present location in Adenta. Today, its student population is 1,800, out of which 1,000 are females. As it prepares to mark 7 decades of existence, the Old Students Association has launched a fundraising campaign to construct a boys' dormitory and a home economics block. The Old Students Association donated 20,000 cedis to the fund as seed capital. Currently, the girls' dormitory under construction is soon to be completed. The chairman of the governing board, Professor Clement Sumwa, who launched the campaign, encouraged students to study hard to justify their parents' investment in future.
Over here, you have such an opportunity to excel. That's right. If you make up your mind, you are going to be the best. You can do it. That's right. If a Wasarian could top the WASI exams, the whole West Africa, we are not a small school. Yes. I, Professor Clement Sumwa, have the privilege to declare the fundraising campaign of West Africa Senior High School duly launched.
The president of the West Africa Old Students Association, Dr. David Ako Odoi, was eager to see the alma mater become a boarding facility again.
On behalf of the old students, I solemnly swear that we shall start, build, and finish the home science economics block and the boys' dormitory.
The headmaster was recognized for serving the school since 1991. The anniversary celebrations are scheduled for October and November 2016.
The Wa area head of Fountain of Favor Ministry in the Upper West region, Pastor Pius Dumba, says Christians must not compromise on the word of God. At a service to climax the ministry's 10th anniversary at Wa, Pastor Dumba said all Christians and the church must always live morally upright and exemplary lives at all times.
Established in 2005, the Fountain of Favor Ministry started with a membership of 7. Today, its membership is about 700 from 9 local branches in the Upper West and Central regions. The anniversary focused on the theme, "He who observes weather will not sow." The service attracted over 400 people across the region. The Wa area head of the ministry, Pastor Pius Dumba, said in spite of the challenges facing the ministry, it has grown over the years. He told GBC24 the effects of compromising on the word of God.
We of the African descent and African root, it's a serious abomination, even that our forefathers told us. So we want to advise them to go by what the Bible says, stand firm, and we are going to be partners together in fighting the homosexuals and lesbians, not with weapons but with prayer.
A pastor from Winners Chapel International, Pastor Robert Nagali, who was a guest of honor, encouraged Christians to hold on to their faith and pray unceasingly, especially as the year comes to an end. All members who were baptized received certificates.
The Film Video Department of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation has seen off a colleague, Mr. Alexander Daziboni of GBC Garden City Radio in Kumasi after 40 years of dedicated service. Mr. Boni was once the acting regional director in Kumasi.
Mr. Alex Boni joined GBC's television section in 1975 and was posted to Cape Coast. For several years, he served there until he was assigned to Kumasi about 13 years ago. He rose through the ranks and once served as the acting regional director for GBC's Kumasi office. The head of the sound department at GBC, Mr. Samson Yeboah, on behalf of the department, made the presentation through the regional director, Mr. Sam Kwetia.
Tembiana obeda obesore no ya no aka yenso na obompa yemayin say GBC Garden City amija ahoyi krai say director ne mebusanfo yi.
All we ask for is your continued technical support.
Kesi bia mfunu ko nyansa na wo tim kakra ya ode boy kote fa mayin na sam bompa ye techi fa mayin na tembia nyansa ka say yes ye nua ya danfo ye papa bibi Alex no so no.
Mr. Boni thanked the department for the honor. He encouraged staff to work harder to lift the image of the corporation.
Work hard to lift high the professional image of GBC. Na GBC ejumano sene ebe hunu no entro asesa nkosi chama yansu.
Mr. Boni also reminded staff to take pride in what they do and keep abreast of technology to ensure that GBC maintains its professional standards.
Still to come in this package, we'll walk you through the world of business, update you on events around our world, and take you into the sporting arena.
We'll also bring you entertainment and the weather. Stay with us. Some business news now. Artisanal salt miners contribute 3/4 to the country's total salt production. However, artisanal miners countrywide continue to face stiff competition from large-scale companies. At a forum by the National Coalition on Mining and the Third World Network in Sege, the coordinator of the Third World Network, Mr. Yao Graham, said the privatization of some salt mining areas by government has had dire consequences on the salt industry and the livelihood of artisanal miners.
One commodity that Ghana has comparative advantage over but is yet to harness its potential to the fullest is salt. The Ghanaian salt industry as at 2009 was producing between 250,000 and 300,000 tons of salt annually. It is currently the leading producer of salt in the West African sub-region. One of the salt mining hubs is Sege, where we have the Songo Lagoon. Despite its importance to Ghana's economic growth, salt mining in Ghana is bedeviled with a lot of challenges. In Sege, for instance, one major challenge is the construction of achiakpo, which are dikes and large trenches by small-scale private miners. Water from the lagoon is channeled into these trenches, depleting the water in the lagoon for salt mining by the locals. When members of the National Coalition on Mining, NCOM, met with salt miners in Sege, an advocate of the Ada Salt Mining Cooperative, Mr. Albert Akpatokbo, said a long-standing misunderstanding between the indigenous and mining companies has been detrimental to the salt industry.
We have government agencies who are not listening to the inhabitants. We have Private Enterprise Foundation and the Minerals Commission. They want the entire lagoon area to be given to them so that they give to companies of their choice. And with the inhabitants, we are saying that that will not hold. We have the land and then the resource. So if you have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, additional elements in development or investment. So if the investor has the three and we have one, the land, are we not partners in investment?
At a forum, the coordinator for Third World Network, Mr. Yao Graham, called for pragmatic measures to be taken by those in authority to heal the ailing salt industry.
Our belief is that what is happening with the salt industry provides all of us with a chance to fight and ensure that an area where there's a long tradition of local entrepreneurship remains dominated by local people, that it is improved in the same ways that the governments are so keen to give incentives to foreign investors. The question is, how can government help to make sure that local people build their enterprises? How do we make sure that wealth which is owned in this country first and foremost develops to the benefit of our people?
A member of the National Coalition on Mining, Mr. Lawe Hushi, said artisanal and small-scale mining produce 3/4 of the country's salt, and due to that, more emphasis should be placed on their livelihood. Various mining groups present were also in agreement with the call for their mining royalties to be declared to them.
With the launch of the National Single Window Service, exporters and importers will no longer go through the stress associated with processing their goods at the country's entry points. The service is expected to facilitate the documentation processes at the borders.
Development of the Single Window Service started in 2013 when government gave the green light to the Ghana Revenue Authority to begin the process. In September this year, the first stage got off to a good start with the launch of the Pre-Arrival Assessment Report System, or PAARS. This program looked at the internal controls and sustainable risk management platform that provides effective import verification, enhances fiscal planning, whilst encouraging transparency and promoting investor confidence. PAARS again instituted sound and reliable data governance framework for effective reporting, information, and performance management. It also ensured that trade documentation is well assessed, classified, and valued before a certificate is generated. At the launch of the service in Accra, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Ebo Batenudro, said the single window system would provide efficiency in trading and reduce corruption in the system.
The introduction of the single window is therefore a clear and bold statement of intent by government to address some of the challenges of doing business in Ghana, an issue that is of major concern to both government and the private sector.
Finance Minister Mr. Setekbe said the new system will allow importers and exporters to process documents at one place. The new system will provide customs constant access to the global market. To the exporters and importers, the new facility is a welcome.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Kwabena Akando, says mining provides quality and high-paying jobs directly to Ghanaians and also constitutes about 98% of labor force. The minister said this in Accra during the maiden edition of the Ghana Mining Industry Awards.
The maiden edition of the Ghana Mining Industry Awards sought to identify and show the industry's appreciation to eminent persons and organizations for their immense contributions made over the years. The Ghana Mining Industry Awards is an initiative of the Ghana Chamber of Mines meant to celebrate achievement made in the mining industry in spite of the significant challenges facing the country. Awards were given to former presidents and chief executives of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. The industry also recognized some of the mining companies which performed well in the year under review. Chirano Gold Mine Limited received the Best Performer in the Occupational Health and Safety Awards category. The Lifetime Achievement Award went to Dr. Joyce Ayi, former CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Goldfields Ghana Limited was adjudged the Best Mining Company of the Year in 2015. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Kwabena Akando, indicated that despite the opportunities in the mining sector, mining comes along with challenges such as land degradation and environmental pollution. The Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Mr. Suleiman Kone, in an interview with GBC24, spoke about the future plans for the awards.
If you look at the spectrum of mining, one key area has to do with skills and knowledge. and we believe that it is good to nurture even from the university, so to speak. So one key category I believe we'll be considering has to do with best performance when it comes to education.
Some of the award winners spoke to GBC24.
It's a development industry. You mine because you want to develop an area, not because of the money you will get out of the sale of the ore, which is what we've been doing so far.
The mining industry in Ghana is actually quite competitive. You have companies that are coming up with innovations and pushing the boundaries and making sure that they are mining responsibly and all of that. So for us to come out of this group as the mining company of the year, I think that's a significant achievement.
We're extremely proud to be the only gold mine in Ghana that has this rating, and I think this was a significant contributor to being recognized tonight as the best in environmental management.
The event was organized under the theme Recognizing Excellence, Celebrating Achievements in the Mining Industry.
Zonzele Rural Bank at Jirapa in the Upper West region increased loans and advances to its clients from 1,222,000 in 2013 to 1,865,000 last year. This increase represents 53% over the previous year, and the board chairman of the bank, Mr. Albert Busoro, stated this at the bank's annual general meeting at Jirapa. He says this is to empower its clients to develop their businesses to enable them to take better care of their families.
Zonzele Rural Bank started operations in 1983. It is the leading rural bank in the region and among the 10 best rural banks in Ghana as at the end of 2013. The bank now has 5 branches and has on offer savings and current accounts, fixed deposit, receipts, salary, commercial and agricultural loans. At the bank's annual general meeting, its board chairman, Mr. Albert Busro, said the bank adopted prudent measures to mitigate the effects of economic challenges of the year under review. He said this resulted in an increase of loans to its clients by 53%.
For loans and advances, in 2013, it recorded 1,222,648, and in 2014 there was an increase to 1,865,190, indicating 53% increase.
A representative of ARB Apex Bank, Mr. Success Kwesidriama, lauded the bank for its measures to ensure its smooth operations. The general manager, Mr. Kenneth Dassa, said the bank has made a positive impact on its clients and its operational areas. A customer and beneficiary of a loan, Mr. Dawood Abubakari, said he has been able to establish a poultry farm that is functioning well. He, however, appealed to the bank to extend more loans to him to expand it.
And that was business. We'll be back with My Journey.
All is set for the Kachi Lake Carnival and Beach Party 2016. The event is being organized jointly by the Karachi West and Sene East District Assemblies to expose the tourism potentials of the two districts. On My Journey tonight, we take you to the banks of the Volta River for a feel of what to expect. The Volta Regional Minister, Ms. Helen Ntosu, said the region has lots of tourist sites. She's therefore extending an open invitation to all to book a seat for the upcoming event scheduled for the 1st and 2nd of January 2016.
The people of Karachi West and Sene East districts are of common descent but separated by the Volta River. That side of the river was very narrow and the people were able to cross over to either side by just a stride. However, after the expansion of the Volta Lake through the construction of the Akonsombo Dam in 1964, the people are no longer able to cross the lake by just jumping. Now, the only safe means of crossing is by this type of vehicle called VLTC vessel. Since 2013, The people have found the VLTC vessel quite useful. It has been fun. The recent drop in the volume of the Volta River is rather to the advantage of the two districts, as it has exposed some tourist sites in the river basin. Mr. Jackson Donko is a citizen of Kachi.
When the crashes came, that was where the ancestral capital. We harbor all the chiefs and whoever is connected with chieftaincy is settled there.
The Krachi West District Chief Executive, Mr. Moses Ponye, spoke about what the area has in store for tourists.
The creation of the lake has just taken over the old town, which is submerged, and all the monuments that we have were all submerged. But now, if you look at the level of the water, most of the artifacts that we have, which was making Krachi Old Town, coming out. And with this event, I think everybody who has heard the old name of Krachi and they haven't seen certain things that happen within the old town can come over to come and look at it. Most of them are coming out. I go to the shrine, almost part of it is out. You go to the old town, part of it is out.
The district chief executive of Sene East is Francis Kofi Ba.
Sene East and Krachi West are almost the same people. We speak the same language, the same people, but only that we have been separated by the lake, water lake. Crossing between Sene East, from Sene East to Krachi West is a very nice experience. We want to have a special one that is coming January 1st, 2016. Will be an exclusive crossing. We are going to have a lake cruise with a ferry from Sene East, that take off from therefore to Krachi. Then from there we move to the island of Palama to show people that we have places of interest. I'm inviting all other people from all walks in the country, those around, those from Kumasi, Accra, Dambai, to come and experience it.
Arguably, this carnival is the second in the country after the Edina Bronya. The organizers say there will be local drumming competitions such as Bobobo, Agbaja, and Kinachu. There will also be canoe rides along Ope Beach, while the VLTC vessel takes tourists to Okpalama Island. For many who want to enjoy tourism and the indigenous culture of the people, this will be an opportunity for a homecoming. Metro Mass Transit is also making available a number of buses from Accra to Ketekrachi and back just for the carnival. The Volta Regional Minister, Madam Helen Ntosu, who herself has taken part in the carnival before, said the upcoming Kache Lake Carnival and Beach Party promises to be more exciting.
I invite everybody to come and witness and join us celebrate a beach and a ferry cruise festival, which we normally organize once a while. But this time it's going to be a mega one, so I invite everybody to come on board so that the day becomes a very grand one.
GBC24 will bring you some updates before the event and also be there at the end of the year to bring you some highlights of the carnival and beach party.
Do book your seat for the 1st and 2nd of January 2016. We'll be right back. In other news, delegates at a UN climate conference in Paris have approved a draft text they hope will form the basis of an agreement to curb global carbon emissions. The 48-page document will be discussed by ministers on Monday. They will try to arrive at a comprehensive settlement by the end of next week. The French climate ambassador warned that major political differences still need to be resolved. Delegates from 195 countries worked through the night at the conference center in La Bougie, conscious of a midday Saturday deadline imposed by the French presidency of this meeting. The weighty document will now go forward to ministers who will have to take the many political decisions still needed if the text is to be turned into a long-term agreement.
Three seaside attacks have hit an island on Lake Chad, killing at least 27 people. Security sources say the blasts on the island of Kolfua on the Chadian side of the lake struck a weekly market. No group has said it was behind the attacks, but the region is under a state of emergency after attacks by the Boko Haram militant group. This year, thousands of people fleeing the Islamist fighters sought safety on the island. Chad has played a key role helping Nigeria recapture areas seized by the group in northern Nigeria.
President Barack Obama says the U.S. will not be terrorized by Wednesday's mass shootings in San Bernardino, California. Saeed Rizwan Farouk, 28, and his wife, Tashfeen Malik, 27, killed 14 people before being shot dead by police. The FBI is investigating the shootings as an act of terrorism. The Islamic State militant group on Saturday hailed the attack, saying it had been carried out by two supporters of the Islamic State. The statement gave no indication that the group had any involvement in planning the shootings at the Inland Regional Center Social Services Agency. The FBI officers are trying to recover data from two mobile phones that were found crushed in a waste bin near the scene. On Friday, lawyers representing the attacker's family said the relatives were in complete shock and that they had no idea the two had been capable of such an attack. Next, we'll take you into the sporting arena.
In sports news, Adam Korase has reiterated his desire to return to the Black Stars after an 18-month absence. The 27-year-old shot stopper has not played for Ghana since a 2-1 defeat to the U.S. at the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. He says when he gets an invitation, he would come. Having been dropped for Fatal Dauda after the opening day defeat to the Yankees, Adam Korase fell out with the technical team of the Black Stars, headed by the then coach Kwesi Appiah, as well as goalkeepers trainer Nassam Yakubu. Ghana eventually got eliminated at the group stage, and that has been the last seen of Korase with the team. He is yet to honor call-ups to the national side, and following his appointment as Ghana coach in December 2014, Avram Grant tried unsuccessfully to persuade the shot stopper into making a quick return ahead of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations in Equatorial Guinea. And after months of talks, Korase decided to call time on his sabbatical ahead of Ghana's friendly with Canada in the USA last October, confirming he had indeed accepted an invitation for the fixture. However, the goalkeeper made a last-minute U-turn, asking to be excused for the tie due to club commitments. His withdrawal apparently didn't go down well with Grant, who consequently chose to leave him out of Ghana's squad for the 2018 World Cup qualifying double-header with Comoros in November. And Kwejo Asamoah has bounced back after injury. He was handed a starting role in Juventus Serie A clash at Lazio. The Ghana international has not kicked a ball since October, when a relapse thigh injury sidelined him for 20 days. But the versatile midfielder has showed tremendous improvements in the treatment and convinced coach Max Allegri that his assertiveness, Asamoah is going through a bad patch due to injuries which saw him miss 9 months of action. Juventus won the game by 2-0 with goals from Bruno and an own goal from Santiago Gentiletti. The arts segment is next.
It was an entertaining moment at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park in Accra as comedian Funny Face and friends mounted the stage in front of children, parents and guardians at the event dubbed Funny Face Fun Festival. The art and entertainment team has excerpts.
It was a day that saw lovers of comedy come together under one umbrella to have fun. For some of the children, it was a day to showcase their creativity to their parents and guardians.
Before you go, make I get it for them.
Then came a performance from Daddy Opanka, a Tema-based rapper. Nana Jam, known in showbiz as KB, was also on stage. Then it was time for the two finest comedians, Funny Face and Bismarck, performing on one stage. The audience was satisfied with the performance.
Funny Face Fan Festival, you know, they are missing a lot. We're just having fun with the kids and all that. So if you are not here today, next year you have to be here because it's all about fun.
God bless GTV. From day one, they've been with me, GTV. That's what I'm saying. Thank you for coming. You will live long, GTV.
They said they are waiting for the next edition.